assertion, immediate and concurrent assertion. Now we are going to see the operators available in concurrent assertion and the system functions. So this is the basic sequence, can represent like this. A, after one clock cycle, we are expecting B to be 1, and after one clock cycle, we are expecting C to be 1. Then likewise, after one clock cycle, Z should be 1. Okay, this is the expected behavior we are expecting. So in pictorial form, we can represent like this. Then sequence with delay. A should be 1 after one cycle, B should be 1, and after 2 clock cycle, 1 and 2. After 2 clock cycle, C should be 1. Okay, that we can represent like this with the delay. Then expression repetition. A should be 1, and after one clock cycle, B value should be 1, and within the bracket star 3, that indicate this is a repetition 3 times. B value should be 1. The B value should be 1 for the 3 clock cycles. That we can represent like this: B in the square bracket star 3. That means B value should be 1 for continuous 3 clock cycles. Then after one clock cycle, C value should be 1. Then expression range repetition. So in this timing window, we can mention the range. Along with that, if you mention star, that indicates 3 times B value should be 1, or 4 times B value should be 1. For the continuous 4 clock cycle, B value should be 1, or 3 clock cycle, B value should be 1. The non-consecutive repetition. So this way we can mention A value should be 1 as 1 after one clock cycle, B in the square bracket equal to 2. Okay. This means that B value should be 1 in any time. Okay. Not after one passage of clock. It may happen at any time duration or time delay. Okay. 2 times B value should be 1. Then after any time, C value should be 1. It is called non-consecutive. Okay, we are not expecting B should happen consecutively. B value should be 1 in any time. Okay, but we are mentioning equal to 2. So 2 times we are expecting B value should be 1 in the given time period. Then after that, at any time, C value should be 1. Go to repetition. That is represented by within this square bracket this arrow mark 2. Okay, that means when B after A happens, A become 1. After that, B value should be 1 2 times. Okay, that may happen at any time. After that, the next cycle itself, next clock as 1. In the next clock cycle, C value should be 1. That is the difference between this non-consecutive and repetition. Sorry, go to repetition. Here C value become 1 at any time. After 2 times B value become 1. Here after B value become 1 second time, next cycle, sir, C value should be 1. That is the behavior we are expecting by mentioning this sequence. Then these are few system functions. Okay, $rows return true when least significant bit changes to 1. Whatever the variable or signal's name we are mentioning here. So this $rows recognize when the signal changes, if it is a multiple bits, the least significant bit changes from 0 to 1. That is rising from 0 to 1. It will recognize. $12, it will return 1 when the least significant bit changes from 1 to 0. Then $stable return true if value did not change since last clock event to current clock event. from the last clock passage of clock to current passage of clock. If the signal does not change, this dollar stable will recognize that and it will return 1. Dollar past provide a value of the signal from the previous clock cycle. To get the value from the previous past clock cycles, you can use this dollar past. This is signal name and the number of clock cycle where we need to check in the past. Okay, how much clock cycle we need to check in the past, that number of cycle you should mention here. Then gating signals to enable this sampling. We need, if it is 1, it will operate, it will enable this one. If it is 0, it will not check or it will not sample the value. One example is sequence, name is S1, dollar rows A. That means the LSB bit of A should vary from 0 to 1. After one cycle, dollar B and C. That means B and C value should be constant, stable. Then after one cycle, dollar filled D. Okay. So D after next cycle, D LSB bit should be changed from 1 to 0. So this is the expected behavior by this sequence. Okay, for dollar first, we will see one example. Here it's done the waveform. Okay, first these are the bits we declared that generate the clock. Okay, we are forcing the value for A and B and C. Okay, this is the property we are going to check. Property name is B. At passage of clock, we are checking B. When B antecedent is 1, we need to check the consequent. Here A 2, number of clock cycle we need to check before this passage of clock. Past means past to clock cycle we need to check. At the time, value of A should be 1. C, if it is 1, we need to check this one. If it is 0, it will disable this checking process. You are checking A value equal to 1. Then here, with the help of asset property, we are going to check whether it is happened or not. Now, with the help of waveform, I will just note down the values. This is the values. Clock at first passage of clock. A value is 1, B value is 0, C value is 1 at 5 nanoseconds. Then after 15, at the time of 15, A value is 1. Here, just before the passage, A value is 1, B value is 0, and C value is 1. Then this passage of clock, A value is 0, B value is 0, and C value is 1. Likewise, we need to note down the values. Here I just note down this for understanding purpose to explain how it is behaving. Now we need to check the property. The same property, let's check here. So here at passage of clock, B equal to 1. Okay, so checking B is equal to 1. Here is it is triggered, right? B value become 1. It's a overlapping. From here to here we are mentioning 2. So 2 clock cycle past we need to check. From here we need to move. This is similar to as 2, okay. But here with the help of dollar past we need to check the previous clock cycles. So here and here. Okay. At this position we need to check A value. A value is equal to 1. So that at the time if you see C value is 1, so it is enabled this task. So it is 1. So it is behave as we expected, as like the property we mentioned. Then next here also B value is 1. We move as to previously indicate this one. Here the A value is 0. We are expecting A value to be 1, but it is 0. C value is 1. So it enables this and we are checking A value is 0. So there it is failed. For this figure, it is failed. See here. Start at 45. Okay. So it is failed. Because A value is 0 in the past 2 cycles. Some more system functions, $1 hot expression. So here one example we can say, assume that there are 4 request signals. We declared as 3:0 REQ. REQ is a request, it's a vector 3:0. The same way we are declaring a grant 3:0, 4-bit vector grant. Okay. Now for the input request, if I want to check is any one of the grant is become 1. Okay, 4-bit grant, right? So if I mention $1 hot grant, okay, actually grant is 3:0, 4-bit grant. For the corresponding request, if you make REQ 0 as 1, the grant of 0 become 1. When you make REQ of 1 as 1, grant of 1 become 1. Okay. So likewise, when you enable a corresponding request, the corresponding grant will become 1. So to check that is one example scenario we can take here. $1 hot grant. Okay, it will check only 1 bit of the expression can be high in the given clock region. In that, any one of the grant is become 1, that will recognized by this $1 hot. If you mention $1 hot 0, if check only 1 bit of the expression can be high or none of the bit can be high at any given clock region. At least one of the grants should be high or all the 4 grants should be 0. That will recognize by $1 hot 0 is unknown. Dollar is unknown expression. So this system function will recognize is there any x and or z is present in the given expression. We are obtaining in the given expression. $count once expression. The given expression will count the number of ones. Assume the grant is a 4-bit vector. In that, how many grant are becoming 1? That will be count by $count once. In sequence operators, so there are 3 operators and operator. This is sequence 1 and sequence 2. Here sequence 1 and sequence 2. You put and for AND operator between these 2 sequences, and both the sequences are expected to match, and both the sequence start at the same time, but are not expected to finish at the same time. So in this type of scenario, if you want to check, you can use AND operator. Both sequence has to start at the same time, but it can end at any point of time. So that type of behavior for checking, you can use AND between the sequence. So here, when it is finished, it will get pass. When it finished here also, it will get pass. When you finished here, also it will get pass. it is similar to normal AND. So it is both should be passed. It can stop at any time and finish at any time. Intersect operator, both should be passed and both should be end at the same time. Sequence 1 and sequence 2, sequence 1 and sequence 2 start at the same time, and both sequence 1 and sequence 2 end at the same time. Then only it will get passed. Then OR operator, similar to normal OR, sequence 1 or sequence 2. When one of the both sequences are expected to match, then OR operator is used. Sequence 1 and sequence 2 starts same time. Okay, sequence 1 finished here, but still sequence 2 is happening. So even though this property will get passed, because if you are using OR, any one of the sequence is get passed or completed, the property will get passed. Then the sequence 2 finished means you will get passed at any point of time. Let's see example for this. Okay, first we will note down the values from the waveform. This is the value we are forcing here. The code we are generating clock and these control signals. Based on that, we are getting the waveform. Then, with the help of property, we are checking the behavior. The clock, or passage of clock, all are 0. Busy, P represent busy, G grant or request. It is happening up to 19 nanoseconds. Okay. 19 nanoseconds, 0, 0 and 0. Okay, and for at the 21st nanosecond, busy value, B value is 0 and grant value is 0, request value is 1. Okay, here request value is 1. Then at 23rd, BC is 0, grant is 1 and request is 0. Then the next cycle, 25th, busy, grant are 1 and request is 0. Okay. This we note down. Now the property, here we are writing 3 properties. One is for to check AND. The name I gave as the AND property, then intersect property, then OR property. Here we are checking when RUQ is 1. Okay. We are checking the 2 sequences, S1 and S2 sequences. In this, we are checking AND, and here if we are using intersect, here we are just using OR. First, this sequence are 2 sequences we created. Sequence 1 is nothing but $past. Okay, I will explain the sequence to the waveform, and we will check whether this sequence is passed or failed. $past. When this sequence will be enabled? When this antecedent is true, that is RUQ is 1. Here, where is this request? R is request. Here, when it is 1, we will check for this antecedent. Okay, first we will check these 2 sequences. Okay, this is sequence 1 and this is sequence 2. And with the help of that sequence and sequence 2, this property and is written with the help of AND operator. Okay. That we will check now. The sequence 1 after this REQ is 1. We need to check this part. It's sequence 1. This one. Past one cycle past REQ should be 0. So one cycle past REQ is 0. Okay. Then as 1, the next cycle here next cycle dollar rose grant. So grant is becoming 1 the next cycle. From here the next cycle grant G becomes 1. From it rises from 0 to 1, and dollar cost grant is 0, and dollar cost grant, which is this is grant, dollar cost one cycle. Here we are mentioning 1, right? So one cycle back grant not of grant, that is 0. So both are true. Here it is rises from 0 to 1, it rises, and one cycle back the value is 0. Okay. So this happens, it start here and it is checked dollar cost of REQ and grant we compare. Grant is raised and then not of grant also happened. It starts here and it check the past, it is happened. Now the sequence it is the past. Okay. It is happening. Then sequence 2 dollar past. So REQ is 1. Then we are checking the sequence 2. It is passed now. Now we are checking sequence 2. Okay. Dollar past not of REQ. Same thing. One cycle back, cycle past, not of REQ is happened. Then as 1 grant. So here next cycle grant become 1. It changes from 0 to 1. Then after one cycle, from here after one cycle, dollar fell grant. Dollar fell grant. Grant is not becoming 0, right? 1 as 1, it is not becoming 0 in the next cycle. Okay. So sequence 2 is not happen. So it will be fail. So it will check S1 and S2. Okay. So S1 is behaving, is happening as expected, and S2 is not happened. Okay. So this AND property will get failed. Okay. We'll run. Already run this sequence. Maybe you can check. So AND property, slide number 20. Sequence 1 pass, sequence 2 fail. Okay, 39. Okay, here we are calling the property. AND property we called here, we labeled right assert property AND property at 39 line. So it is failed here. 21 nanoseconds. Okay. And 25th nanoseconds it got failed because one of the sequence is failed. Then next is intersect property. In the intersect property, we are checking sequence 1 intersect sequence 2. So in intersect, what we learn, both sequence happen at same time and both should be end at same time. So here in this example, one start Both are start at same time, but one ends here, another one ends here. Okay, so the timing also not matched. Okay. The other thing is sequence 2 got failed. Okay, so automatically intersect property also get failed. Intersect property we mentioned in line number 40, so that also got failed. Then another property is or assert. Or property we wrote here. So it here S1 or S2. So this R as like R behavior. One of the sequence is get passed. This property will get passed. So that's the behavior of R. Now if I change this one, that means here now I am considering this one. It's nothing but from after REQ become 1. Okay. REQ is 0 before one clock cycle. Okay, this is happening. Then after one clock cycle, grant is becoming 1 from 0 to 1. This happened. Then after one clock cycle, BC is 1. So from here, after one clock cycle, BC becomes 1. So now sequence 1 and sequence 2 both are passed. Okay. So both are happening. Now if I run this, only one property is getting failed, that is intersect. But this and or got passed. Why this intersect get failed? Both should be happens at same time, start at same time, and it should end at same time. Sequence 1 starts here and it ends here. Okay, but sequence 2 starts here and it ends here. Okay, sequence 2 happen one clock cycle more than sequence 1. So intersect property is failed now. Okay. This one. Then in first match, if these are few keywords we have to check the first match. When we want to stop after the first match of the sequence, we can use first match operator. Then go through throughout. So this is for first match. If I mention first match of S1, okay, it will consider when this sequence match is happening. Okay. It may happen multiple times. Okay. But when it happens first time, it will stop checking further. So that is the use of this first match keyword. Throughout, when we want to check if some condition is valid over period of sequence, then throughout match operator is used. Example, A throughout S1. So S1 is a sequence. Okay, it is happening for multiple cycles. If we mention A throughout S1, so A value should be 1 throughout the sequence. That is represented by this throughout figure. Within, when we want to check containment of one sequence in another sequence, we use within match operator. This is sequence 2. It starts here and it is end here. Sequence 1 should be happen within this sequence 2. It may start at any time between this sequence 2 happening. It can end anytime, but it should not finish after this sequence 2. The sequence 1 must occur at least once entirely within S2 sequence. Both start and end point of S1 must between the start and end point of S2. This start and end point should be between the start and end point. It happens like this. This sequence or property will get lost. giving an example for this. Here we are generating the clock, and then is the signals. We have burst enable, okay, master busy, slave busy, okay, all these transactions signals we are creating here. Then the properties are written first match property and for throughout and within. The first match, okay, before that we will note down the values. Okay, these are the values noted down from the waveform. At passage of clock, okay, burst enable is 0. Just before the passage it is 0, and master BC is 1 and slave BC is 1. Then at 3 nanoseconds it is 1, 1, 1. So likewise we note down all the values for each passage of clock. Okay. Then here we are checking the first property written is first match property. Here at passage of clock we are checking $rows burst enable. So here burst enable is increased, $rows happened here at this passage at 3 nanoseconds, and it's a non-overlapping. So from next cycle we need to check first match of burst enable here. So after this passage happens, then we are checking burst enable. After the here burst enable should be 1. Okay. When as 0 is 4. From here 0 to 4. 1 this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cycles not of master busy. Okay, not of master busy happens 0 to 4 clock cycle. Okay, during that burst enable is 1. So first match happens here itself. So it will check here, it is true, this property will get passed. Then further check, it will not check. Okay. That is the use of first match. Here itself, this property, this behavior, what we mentioned is matched. Okay. So it will not furtherly check this behavior. Okay. That is the use of first match. And throughout property, here also we are checking at passage of clock, burst enable should be rise from 0 to 1. Here it is rise. And then throughout this burst enable, throughout this sequence. What is this sequence? Once after this happened, okay, this overlapping we are mentioning from here as 2 clock cycle 1 and 2. Here slave not of slave busy, slave busy should be 0. and the not of master. It is slave busy and master busy, both should be 0. Star 6 times. In the repetition 6 times. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times during master busy and slave busy is 0. Burst enable should be 1. Throughout this sequence, you see burst enable is 1. Okay. So this is also get pass. And within property, here also at passage of clock, we are checking burst enable, it rises to 1. Here sequence to this one, not slave busy 6 times within $fell master busy as 1, not of master busy star 3. So first we'll check this one. Okay, after this happened, this is non-overlapping from next clock, from next cycle. Okay. $fell master busy. Here this fell, it become 0. Then as 1, not of master busy. Next cycle, master busy is 0 for 7 times. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times it is 0. So through this, within this sequence, okay, we are expecting not of master, so slave busy should be 0. Not of master, slave busy means slave busy should be 0 6 times repeatedly. So during this happens, when it is fell down, master busy is changes from 1 to 0 and 7 times it should be 0. In that sequence, within that sequence, the slave busy should be 0 for 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is happening. So all the property they mentioned here will get passed. Okay, so we won't get any assertion error for this example. Then disable if, that is if and only if. In certain design condition, we don't want to proceed the check if some condition is true. This can be achieved by using disable if and only if. For example, property name is P. Within this M property, at passage of clock, we are writing this disable if reset. That means when reset is 1, it will not check this one. It will disable this whole sequence. When reset is 0, only we are going to check this sequence. That is the use of this disable if and only if. Then SPA with parameters. You can also use parameters in the assertion in the assertion model. So you can pass as like how we are passing to the design. So this is the model then for assertion to create the property. Okay, here input A, B and clock. Within this locally we define parameter delay equal to 1. Then while writing the property P16, a passage of clock A equal to 1 happen to check for B to be 1 in the given delay as 1 here. Thus default is 1. After that I am checking the property with the help of assert property. Now I want to change this delay to some other value. Means while I am instantiating this module, generic check. This is the model for creating the assertion property. So this model I need to instantiate in the top or somewhere. So while I instantiating this model, I can change the delay Same way how we are modifying the existing parameter value from the test code as the bracket dot delay for that I am passing 2. Okay, the parameter is override now. Okay, now the delay for this instance of the module, the delay value is 2. Okay. Here for this instance I2, delay value will be 1 because I didn't override the existing delay. Then argument in the property. So while you write this property, you can also pass the arguments like this. The property name, in the bracket you can declare the arguments name, and you can write the sequence and passage of clock and the Boolean expression you are writing. Okay, while you instantiate or while you assert the property, you can map the signals. If A1 is passed to A, then B1 is passed to B, C1 is passed to C, D1 is passed to D. This property I can use many times. Along using the label, I can differentiate the properties. For each property, I am passing different signals. The same property you can use for multiple signal check with the help of this argument process. In SPA using local variables, a variable can be declared locally inside the property, and you can assign the value, you can store the value, and you can use that for manipulation. This is one example, property name within then property. Here I declared L here local variable as in, get passage of clock. When enable becomes 0 to 1, I am assigning a signal A value to this local variable IVAR, LVAR. Then if enable becomes 1, I need to check for this construct. And after 4 clock cycle, I am checking AA is equal to the value. So based on A signal, this local variable receives the A value. So LVAR into LVAR value, we are checking for AA signal. So in this way we can define variables locally, and we can assign the values to that variable, and we can check. Okay, we can use for manipulation purpose. Then small exercise. We need to check the clock frequency with the help of assertion. The TB top module is supposed to generate 10 megahertz clock. Write a checker to check if clock is indeed at 10 megahertz. We are writing a test bench, in that we are generating a clock 10 megahertz. So with the help of assertion, how we can able to check if the generated frequency of the clock is 10 megahertz. So that we are going to see. So first we can calculate the time period. Time is 1 divided by frequency. Frequency is we are expecting 10 megahertz. So time period will be 100 nanoseconds. So inside the property, for this we are writing a property to check the clock frequency. Property name property. So within that I declared a variable previous time as a time data type. At passage of clock, tick true is nothing but it is defined as 1 previously. Okay. So tick true is always 1. So the answer is true. Here I am assigning the $time value to previous time. $time that gives the current simulation time, that value is assigned for the previous time for this variable. For example, if it is happened at 20, the 20 is assigned for this previous time. Then it is a implication, so non-overlapping. Okay, so it will check at the next passage of or next passage of clock. What we are checking here, dollar time. The next cycle simulation time. Here it is 20 is assigned for the previous time. The next cycle value 30 will be assigned, we are getting with the help of dollar time. Next cycle time minus previous time. You are checking equal to this 100 nanoseconds. So we can get one cycle current time and the previous passage of clock time. So the difference between that we can get the one cycle time period. But if it is matched with 100 nanoseconds, you can say generated frequency is 10 megahertz. Okay, we are assert this property and we are checking this happened or not. In these keywords, assert to check the property we are using assert keyword, right? So these statements specify if the property holds correct. If it is true, we will get it will get passed. Yeah, else we will get a assertion failed. Likewise, we have assume. It is similar to the constraint. Okay. So these statements specify property as assumption for the verification environment. Something if you want to assume as like constraint we are posing, right? So likewise we are using this assume keyword. This is more useful in the normal formal verification tool. In formal, instead of writing constraint, with the help of assume we can mention the required behavior. Cover, it is used for coverage purpose. This statement monitors the property for the sake of coverage. Coverage can be made to be reported at the end of simulation. To cover that property name preview, in the coverage we can get these properties covered or not. Then finally binding. So binding, this approach is to keep verification code separate from the design and use the bind directive to associate them. If you want disturb the existing DUT RTL on the test bench means you can write a bind module. Okay, inside the bind module we can bind the assertion model with the design model. This is general syntax bind. It's target model name of the design, and this is the model name or program name and interface name of the assertion where we write the assertion, and the instance name we can give, and we need to have these segments. We'll see how to do that. Here is the DUT model bind assertion to the RTL name. Then we just receive the clock request is set and grant is the output. At passage of clock, whatever the value we are receiving at REQ, that is assigned for grant. Okay. Simple thing only we are doing here. It is this example to explain how we need to bind the assertion model to the design. So without anything implementation inside the design, just we declare here and REQ is assigned to grant. That is the functionality. Then assertion IP. So here the assertion model name is assertion IP. Here input wire clock for assertion module, everything is an input. All the signals we are using as an input, and we are checking that expected behavior is happening. So this declared as input wire and clock request reset grant. Then here we are going to sequences, and with the help of our property, we are with the sequence inside the property, and we are checking using cover property and using assert property. Then this functionality I will explain later. This is the waveform we are getting based on the inputs we generated in the test bench data stream. The clock reset request I think we gave here, and we are generating that. So based on that, we are receiving the waveform, and the expected behavior is written inside the assertion ID. Then in the top, we are instantiating this RTL DUT, instantiated as DUT bind assertion. We are passing the clock request reset and grant. So this bind model, so this is one way to integrate all those. So bind model, inside the bind model, name is bind model. Bind, here you should mention the RTL module name, bind assertion, and then assertion module name, assertion ID is the assertion module name, and instance name. Here we should map the signals of DUT with the assertion model. So we are passing the DUT signal to the assertion model signal. Right? So the dot clock IP, it is the assertion model signal. For that we are mapping the clock up to DUT. Dot RUQ IP mapped with RUQ. This is assertion model signal mapped with DUT model signals. So this is the one way. Another way, we can also, here if you create like this without disturbing any test bench and DUT, we can integrate the assertion model. The another way I told that, another way is you can directly instantiate this assertion IP in the top test bench top. Okay, you can instantiate and you can give any name, and you just map these signals. Okay. That is the another way. In that method, you are modifying the TB, existing TB. Inside that, you are instantiating the assertion block, and you are mapping the signal. One way, without disturbing that, you can create this bind module, and you can integrate the signals of DUT with the assertion block. So now go to the assertion IP, and we are checking sequence. So here the expected is this property at passage of clock disable if reset IP. That means when reset is 1, we will disable this sequence. Reset should be 0. Here reset should be 0. So at this passage of clock at 27 nanoseconds, reset is 0. So again from this, where it is 0. While reset is 0, RUQ IP should be 1. RUQ IP should be 1. Where is 1? Here. At 129, RUQ IP is 1. Incident happened. So consequence is here we are using non-overlapping. So from next cycle, we need to check this sequence. What is this sequence? RUQ IP should be 0, count of RUQ IP, and grant IP is 1. Here RUQ IP is 0, grant IP is 1. So it is passed. This happened. The next cycle, RUQ IP is 0 and grant IP should be 0. So both should be 0 in the next cycle. In the next cycle, both are 0. So it is happened. the sequence get passed during its start from here, okay, and it is passed. Again, at each passage, it is checking. Here again, it is becoming one REQ, becoming one at this passage. But the sequence, what we expected, next cycle, it should be 0. I mentioned here, after one clock cycle, both should be 0. But it is not happen here. Okay. So there you will get the assertion. The first one is get passed, so you won't get any assertion error. And the second time when it happens, it is failed. Start at 237. 237 is here. Starts and further it is failed. This example is just to show how we need to integrate the assertion model with the test bench or with the design. Okay, that's one.